Hello, my wonderful subscribers. Miss Asimo, we are quite a strong copy. Sabe Odeneho TV studio. Miss also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Odeneho TV. Or be like, or be comment or your comment section. We also be clicking on the notification button for more news updates. Sisia, communication director for the opposition party, which is NDC party. No, waba bonting ama because in Binan some kind no. Animguasi3 pa and Abrano. Yesha Yankasi former president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the policy be by a friend 24-hour economy. Na enumuno patria such as within that 24-hour economy, no be near Jumebia, that Jumana Bayan so ebe provide you revenue, ebe mauska. Now when I'm a communication director for the NDC party, Sammy Gyamfi, Aba Bonte, Aba digesting seven munacha say, who say near all Kikano and any former president John Dramani Mahama Bekano and Webra Ewa Babya. The person myself brain what I didn't come in put in summer. Sammy Gyamfi Ekai will be best a car could be a Jiniko. Before that, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Odeneho TV, or like your comment or your comment section, or click on the notification button for more news updates here channel.
We are going to implement this. What are the industries we have in mind? What exactly will government do to support and encourage the industries we are targeting to pre-24/7? How is this whole thing going to be implemented? How will people be able to take advantage of it, and so on and so forth? And that is why we've taken the time to publish what I'm holding in my hands. Thank you for giving us a copy. Thanks to your producer Annie. The 24-hour economy, frequently asked questions and answers. Now, Doc, let me make it clear that this document is not a policy, neither is it a strategy. The title is clear. Yesterday I saw the MPP rep on the show, Sly, trying to be mischievous about it. It's clear. This is not a policy. It is a document that tries to provide answers to frequently asked questions on the 24-hour economy. And so one of the questions has been that what industries will this 24-hour economy focus on? And if you look at point 3 of the document, we address that. We said that the 24-hour economy will primarily, but not exclusively, focus on 24-hour agro-processing. That is number 1 on the list. Agro-processing. Agro-processing, we're talking about processing of our cashew, our tomato, our cocoa, our share, our sugar cane, and so on. Agro-processing. 24-hour pharmaceutical industry. Under the ex-Wa Mahama regime, we provided stimulus package of over $25 million for that industry, and that revolutionized the industry. Today, the capacity of that local pharmaceutical industry has been enlarged owing to that singular act of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, such that the companies that benefited from the package, the NS Chemists, the Danny Adams, the Tobinkos, and the rest, now have a bigger capacity to produce a lot of the medication we use in this country, not only for domestic consumption, but even for exports. And we think that that sector has the potential and the capacity to run 24/7 if the right enabling environment is created for them, for government. We've spoken about 24-hour manufacturing, especially the manufacturing of household goods. We've spoken about 24-hour construction, like we see anytime we travel outside the country, where we see major construction works or even maintenance, road maintenance works being done in the night. We believe that our companies here have the capacity, and if the right enabling environment and support is provided, we can have construction companies operating 24/7. We're talking about a 24-hour extractive industry. Here, what we have in mind is a mining industry and a quarrying industry. Already, there are a few mining companies operating 24/7 without any intervention by government supporting these, companies. What we aim to do is to get a lot more of these companies operating 24/7 by creating the necessary enabling environment. 24-hour sanitation and waste management, talking about the cleaning of our streets, our communities in the night. 24-hour digital startups and business process outsourcing. This will allow, young people well versed in IT to work for companies across the globe, from Ghana. It is a reason why, it's one of the reasons why John Mahama built Accra Digital Center, which currently operates 8 hours, and which has the capacity to currently host, 10,000 young people at a go, working for various businesses and companies across the world from Ghana. And we are saying that if we get Accra Digital Center to operate 24/7, we will be able to increase the capacity to 20,000 or to 30,000. That is it. And the $3 billion ICT, investments in ICT that John Dramani Mahama has spoken about will further open new opportunities in the IT world for young people to be able to work round the clock and make, good wages for that. We've also spoken about 24-hour financial services, because if you are going to have a 24-hour economy, then financial institutions, including banks and so on, some of them will have to have 24-hour services. 24-hour retail centers, 24-hour transportation services, and even for public institutions, we've said that there are certain public institutions which must run 24 hours because of demand for better services, for more efficient services by the public.
Sammy Gyamfi, and our dev into our economy. No much I see Eddie Amagana or something. Yes, he made attention to what his explanation, because a lot of what Ghanaians are asking what for our economy is about. I am for no, almost the end for our economy. See, I see, almost the trade as not Sammy Gyamfi a trade. I see Eddie Emma, Ghana for now. Somebody dear, and one fancy or so also a can say.
Please. If you go to these institutions, you see huge traffic, you see huge queues that these institutions are not able to meet in a timely manner, and that affects productivity. That even affects revenue mobilization by the state. If we can get these institutions to operate 24/7, we will be doing a lot of good to the citizens of this country, the people of this country, in terms of giving them better and more efficient services. And we'll be doing a lot of good for the state in terms of raising revenue, promoting productivity, and so on. And we've spoken about, for example, ports and harbors. I've heard people say, currently the ports operate 24/7. Not wholly true. The ports had always operated on an 8-hour shift. It was His Excellency John Dramani Mahama who decided to expand the Tema ports through a PPP arrangement, which has now birthed what we have, or what we call the Meridian Port Services Terminal, the MPS Terminal, and which terminal today has made our Tema port the second largest port in the whole of West Africa. Now, that terminal operates 24/7, but the section of the work at Tema Port that is handled by the Ghana Ports and Harbour Authority doesn't operate 24/7. They start at 8 and close at 5. The Takoradi Port doesn't operate 24/7. Even for MPS, that as a result of the vision of the nation builder John Dramani Mahama today is operating 24/7, has a lot of challenges, because the customs don't operate 24/7, and the financial institutions don't operate 24/7. So there are many things that people seek to do at the MPS terminal on a daily basis in the nights, especially, which becomes challenging for them. So to have our ports and harbors operating 24/7 is something that will be new. It will be an improvement of what President Mahama started. And here we are talking about not just Tema, but we are even talking about Takoradi and so on. And we are saying that if the ports and harbors will be operating 24/7, then customs should be operating 24/7, and then financial institutions should be operating 24/7 to really give meaning to this policy intervention. We've spoken about the passport office, we've spoken about DVLA and all that. And when you mention these public institutions, there are some who say that, but now there is online application for passports and so on. By the way, let me indicate that the online application for passports, contrary to what our friends in the MPP have been saying, is a brainchild and the legacy of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Specifically, the online passport application system was introduced in 2014 under the leadership of the then Foreign Affairs Minister, Honorable Hannah Tete. And so we are very much aware of that because it is our legacy. However, an application for a passport is just one component of the process of getting a passport. The processing of the passport application is very important. And so you can apply for the passport in the confines of your home, even in the night. But because those who are supposed to process it work on an 8-hour shift and close by 5, that is why till date you need to wait for weeks, and in some cases months, before you get your passport. Even the printing of the passport booklet for you can be a challenge. So it's not just about the application, it's about having these institutions operating around the clock so that they can fast track processing, printing, and provide better services to the good people of this country. And this clearly will be tied to productivity and revenue mobilization, because the more applications you're able to process and deliver, the more revenue the state gets. Again, we have said that the 24-hour economy will be implemented in the context of other development initiatives that the next NDC Mahama government, inshallah, will be implementing. And we are looking at areas of health, areas of education, affordable housing, transportation, even in the area of justice delivery, where currently you have our courts choked to the brim. Yet these courts operate morning by 5 p.m., sometimes even 4:30 they've closed, and all that. If we can, in the medium term, get some of these institutions to operate 24/7, it will help citizens of this country get better services from the government. And so one may ask, what then is the NDC Mahama administration going to do differently to enable all these industries I have outlined operate 24/7?